time. In Eric's absence, Michael Lau will be acting planning board member.
Thank you. Okay, with the first agenda item is continuation of the public hearing for the special permit under zoning bylaw 250-17B for a common driveway servicing 5 single-family lots on Wattaquatic Hill Road. Assessment map is 004.C, parcels 0062 through 0066. The applicant is Wattaquatic Hill Road Realty Trust Number 1. So Pamela, we've received information. John, welcome.
Good evening.
Yes, so at the last meeting on September 24th, the applicant had submitted revised plans to address a number of staff and peer review consultant comments. We sent that out for additional peer review from Haley Ward the next day. We received a follow-up memo, which largely addressed, most comments were addressed. There's one outstanding item regarding pre-treatment to the grass swale on lot 9. I spoke to Brandon earlier today and he stated that it's a small amendment to the plan and he would be addressing it with revisions. So there's really no larger outstanding engineering issues related to the common driveway plans.
Okay. And I guess at this point, the outstanding issue, frankly, at this point is the affordable housing.
Yes, we have the inclusionary zoning bylaw, which was applicable to the project when it was originally filed in 2005, 20 years ago now. And then we also have an outstanding item of the HOA documents to address maintenance of the common driveway as well as the shared stormwater system.
Okay, so why don't we address the affordable housing element? You've had conversations with John on this. John?
I received an email later this afternoon. I don't know if, John, would you like me to share that and we can discuss it?
Sure, you're welcome to.
Okay. I haven't had the opportunity to review this in detail yet, but I did take a glance at it. Just to give you some history, this inclusionary zoning bylaw was in effect and was adopted in 2003. This backland lot special permit was filed in 2005 along with a common driveway permit. The common driveway permit included conditions that incorporated the inclusionary zoning requirements. That has since expired, but the bylaw still remains effective and it is in our current bylaw as well, though it's slightly been amended. This has been mentioned in a few staff review memos by the town of Bolton, and Mr. Stevenson responded earlier today with some comments. And those are included in red. I can read them aloud if the board would like.
Yeah, why don't you hit those, the pertinent ones?
He mentioned 2 options that he feels he has available to address the inclusionary zoning bylaw: a pay the fee in lieu of units. As I noted prior, we believe this bylaw is unfair and nothing more than a tax on property we've been paying taxes on for 50 years. If the board can agree that a fee can be kept at $200K to meet the bylaw requirements, we more than likely can come to an agreement with this option. I do, however, question where these funds end up and how they are used to meet the requirements of this bylaw in the future. And then 2, the other option is to reduce the number of proposed lots being sold to under 8. This could be accomplished by working with firms that have reached out to us to use this land for other proposed projects.
So, comments from the board?
I can address where the funds go once we collect them. The town voted over 20 years ago to form an affordable housing trust fund. And when we collect fees in lieu of, they get put into that special account, which is controlled by the housing trust fund made up of a certain people through the charter. And it is specifically designated for affordable housing purposes.
May I ask a question? So when you accumulate a certain amount, does the town hire a contractor to build affordable housing, or how does that work?
There are different special criteria you can use it for. Right now, there's approximately $330,000 in the account, and I don't recall the exact figure. You can use it to buy expiring deed restrictions, and you can also use it to construct affordable housing. So there's different options. There's some recommendations in our housing production plan. And it's actually it's good for 5 years, and we're going to begin the process of updating that. So we're hoping to have some pretty solid recommendations to move forward with some implementation on the use of those funds.
Okay, I mean, and just to explain, and I'm sure, several of the board members know, this property's been in the family for probably 50 to 70 plus years. At the end of the day, right, any fee like this will be coming out of our pocket, along with capital gains taxes and everything else that they hit you up on. So it kind of gets to a point there, it's like, I can understand where the state went with this 20 years ago, but it doesn't, for the small business owner, the homeowner that's trying to sell some property, really does not make sense. So I've voiced my concerns before. I'm not going to get into that in detail now, but like I said, if we can get to a point where we can agree on a price, I mean, I've talked to builders, that have tried to build houses under this agreement and lost money. So none of them are interested in doing that. So that plan is, off the table. So it is, there are other options we've been discussing as a family, that we've been approached by other individuals that we're contemplating, but we've been in the town long enough. I lived on that hill myself, to know that we're trying to keep the aesthetics of the town where I think everybody would like to see it. So it is, if we can get to an agreement that seems reasonable, then it seems like paying the fee is really probably the most obvious option. So
Well, that's
I
certainly my
appreciate
opinion.
the town to give it some thought.
Okay. Other comments? I guess I reflect what John just said, that seems to be the most appropriate approach at this point.
This is Lori Stevenson. I'd also like to make a comment. Doing a rough calculation on what our family has given to the town of Bolton, we've given roughly $1 million in property taxes to the town of Bolton in the last 25 years. I don't think you're going to see that in many other families.
So like I said, your considerations in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can come to an agreement.
I just think our inclusionary zoning bylaw currently in its current format requires that the affordable housing fee in lieu of be calculated by referencing a 4-person household with a 3-bedroom home available to 80% of the median income. At the time of this filing in 2005, the affordable housing fee in lieu of was a set fee of $200,000 with a 3% increment rate. So, I'm sorry, a 3% inflation rate per year. I don't think it would be fair or equitable to apply that 3% inflation rate. I think there would be some reference though to the applicable 2003 zoning bylaw to consider the $200,000 fee in lieu of. I think they would be standing on that based on when the project was originally permitted and the zoning bylaw that was effective at that time.
I would certainly agree with that.
Fee in lieu of could also be calculated based off of the lot, right? The unimproved lot. Isn't that what we've used in the past? Or
There's,
is that maybe that's specific
I think
to
it's donation of a lot for,
donation of a lot? Okay.
Yeah, it's not in lieu of.
Okay.
yeah. The board has accepted property in the past as a condition in a subdivision approval.
Any
Yeah,
other
just-
comments or input?
What was that, Bob?
Any additional comments or input from the
What
board?
is the price that using the 3% inflation guide? Like, what is the difference that we're talking about here?
Well, it wouldn't be equitable. It's about 350,000. We would use our current bylaw to apply that to, which is about, it just did one for Goose Pond Path and it equated to about $44,000. That was using last year's income guidelines, so it would be slightly more than that, but not a significant amount.
But in view of the fact that this was permitted that far back, I think an equitable approach is roughly what it would have been to the best of our knowledge at that time, which was reflected in the original bylaw and not include escalation.
I think that's fair as well. It seems as though the effect of that 3% is almost a penalty for things that are permitted that far back. That's the effect that we're seeing here. I agree, Bob, with what you just said. I think the 200,000, interpreting it at the time is reasonable.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Shall we have a formal board vote on that, Pam?
I have a question. Do we have the option to do that? I guess like if the bylaw says what it says, what provision are we using to do that with?
Yeah, you can, the fee in lieu of, I think you can apply the 2003 bylaw, which was in effect when the lots were created. I think that legally makes sense because that was what was applicable to this project in 2005.
Any other comments? Pam, can we formally agree on that, please?
Yeah, if you express general consensus that we can move forward and include that in the decision of, if you move forward with the decision of approval.
I heard three approvals. I think we're looking for Michael and James.
Okay, with-
Did someone? Robert Romer,
Yay.
Michael Gore?
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Michael Lau,
Aye.
and James Barr?
Aye.
By a vote of 5-0, the board supports the payment fee in lieu of at $200,000.
Okay, should we move down in John's email? You want to bring that back up, Pam?
Sure. The next comment addresses the HOA documents. He submitted a draft of one. I haven't had an opportunity to review that yet. It was submitted earlier this afternoon.
Pam, I would think, so what I had done is taken the one that you had sent me for reference a couple weeks ago. I edited that to the best of my ability based on this property. I ask on that is that the board review it, mark it up as you feel needed, And then because it has some legalese in it, I would like to have one, I need to have probably, Brandon Ducharme take a look at it, confirm some of the information is 100% correct. And also have our attorney just take a quick look at it and make sure we're not, we're doing what we should be doing here. So if the board could look at it, mark it up and give me your feedback, I would appreciate it. And then we could try to get that finalized.
John, out of curiosity, how does that work when you sell the land? I assume the HOA is a commitment on the part of the buyer to do exactly the same thing.
That's a good question. I've been actually trying to push back on this probably from day one, saying it seems like this should be something that the builder should be working with. But I guess I kind of understand to some degree that you need to sign off on a driveway permit, so you're looking for, I guess, some of this information so you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
My thoughts are, and what I think I put in my email also, was that this, I guess, would be enough information for you guys to sign off on, but at the same time, the builder, after, whoever purchases the land, the developer would, review it. And if there were changes that he felt that he needed, he would come back to the board for approval.
Okay, so we would be approving it in the context of your ownership, and as it moved forward, that would have to be reapproved, perhaps with variations by the board for the ultimate developer. Is that correct?
And unless you have a better idea, I'm happy not to do it at all. But if you say it's needed to move on to the next phase, then that's what I think we need to do.
Well, you understand that we really do need a sense of where this would be going and the general layout of the HOA agreement, which would give us a certain amount of.
I don't think much of it will change, honestly. It's long-term maintenance and improvement responsibilities, and that's not going to change. It doesn't matter who owns it or acquires the property moving forward. As the property is occupied and lots are transferred, those situations need to be concrete and disclosed so that buyers are aware of the responsibilities they have and share amongst each other for the drainage system and the common driveways.
And can you, one of the things that I find interesting is, since this is not a development, but individual lots that will go to a developer, and obviously the HOA is part of it, but do you have any idea how easements, drainage easements, and the rest of that will be handled? Will that be a normal process in which whatever has come up with in terms of the engineering for the drainage systems will be reflected in individual lot easements?
The construction of the project will be dependent on how the property is relayed, if it's sold off in pieces or sold as one single project. But the HOA documents won't address that. That'll be the NEPIDI's permit.
No, I understand. It's not going to be part of the HOA.
Right, so we can condition those things. That we have an overall erosion control plan, and we can condition those transfers of ownership and exactly when it will become the homeowner's responsibility as part of our conditions. But it is information that we did ask for.
The plan with selling this property is not to piecemeal it to several developers or builders. It will more likely be sold to one developer. So they will be coming back to you, I'm sure, for building permits and so on and so forth. If there's something that they don't agree with the verbiage in that, I'm sure they will ask for an amendment to it.
Okay. No, that was my concern, that Ultimately, it will have individual homeowners who are responsible for their property, but also will be required to acknowledge the fact that the overall engineering scheme for drainage impacts them, and that needs to be acknowledged legally. So I assume that'll occur.
That is the plan, yes. So Pam, I don't know if the board can hopefully review that, maybe get back to me within a week or so. I would appreciate it with any feedback.
Yes, we can do that, John. And also just as a further information, the Board of Health has this as a topic on their agenda for, I believe, the October 14th meeting.
Yes, I do believe Brandon was scheduled to attend it.
Okay.
Okay, I think we've covered what we can and reasonably will for this meeting, and we will need a continuation of this.
22nd is our next meeting. Is that right, Pam?
Yes, October 22nd.
Okay, I will make a motion to continue the public hearing for special permit for common driveway for Wattaquatic Hill Road until October 22nd.
I'll second that.
Robert Romer,
Yes.
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I,
Michael Lau,
I.
James Barr. Excuse me, the hearings continue to the meeting of October 22nd.
John, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, shall we move on to agenda item number 2, the housing production plan?
Yes.
Pam, I'm sorry, there was some background noise that was happening.
Yeah, I just muted someone.
I voted aye, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, housing production plan. Has everybody taken a look at that? I had a couple of comments, one of which was a missing end of a sentence in the last sentence.
Yeah, let me share it.
Okay, thank you.
I think I just need to put I think that's fine, just like that. But
Just leave it at that.
yeah.
Okay,
I just had one other amendment. I think I referenced membership to include someone from the master plan committee, and they've disbanded, so we can take that out and replace it. Place it with a resident.
okay.
The one question I had was so you're setting the number to 7 members or up to 7 members?
7.
Okay, and you
Do you-
think you'll have enough interest to fill that?
If not, we'll be back.
No doubt. How will people be solicited for this particular residence?
We're gonna have to advertise it and seek volunteers.
Okay. Yeah, I think there are 2 or 3 residents who have been involved in the HPP in the past who would be very useful and knowledgeable, incidentally.
Yeah, I'll reach out to former members from the 2021 plan first, see if they're interested in continuing to serve on the committee for the update, and we'll also seek outside volunteers.
Yeah, Stasha was particularly informative when it came to the master plan, as you know.
Yeah, she's who I had in mind when I included the master plan committee, but then
Thank you.
it's officially been disbarred, so it doesn't make sense to keep that as on there as a membership requirement, but
Okay. Okay, any other comments on that? Look good?
Are we voting to approve that tonight, or is
Yes.
that just?
I think,
and it does call for a planning board member. Eric Nyland served on the 2021 plan.
shall
We
we?
can nominate him since he's not here. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
why don't we do that? Teach you to
Bad things
miss.
happen when you don't show up.
Exactly. So,
It's already
for a
stretched out.
nomination for Mr. Nyland.
I was joking.
Well, I will make a motion to approve the housing production plan.
Second,
The charter, just to,
The charter.
Sorry, the charter for the housing production plan.
has everybody read the last one? If not, it's worthwhile. It'll give you perspective on how we got where we are.
Bob, did you provide a second to that
Yes,
motion?
I did. Yep.
Robert Romer,
Hi,
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I,
Michael Lau,
Michael Lau.
I said aye.
Oh,
James Barr.
Aye.
Charter's approved by a vote of 5-0.
great. Okay, well, on the next item, Pam, will you continue on the saga of Moderator Way?
Yes, as you know, in February of 2023, 2022, sorry. The planning board took action to revoke the bond for moderator way to complete outstanding items associated with the definitive subdivision approval. The bond was provided through Hanover Insurance Company. The developer who provided the bond appealed the planning board's action, and it entered into the court system and legal proceedings. Through various years, the town has finally reached a settlement agreement and has obtained funds to complete work within the subdivision equivalent to $72,500. As part of that settlement agreement, the town also obtained ownership of the right-of-way and the associated drainage easements. So first step in moving forward will be to contract with an engineering company to complete as-built plans that'll help us determine the limits of the right-of-way, ensure bounds are installed, and provide exact property boundaries in the field of where the limits are. It also provides us depths for the detention basins to ensure adequate storage was provided, and give us an overall sense of that the construction complied with the definitive subdivision approval.
Okay, but, and you want to explain the difference, significant difference between ownership and acceptance.
Yes,
Since
so
the-
the town owns
Okay, I'm sorry,
the
go ahead.
property. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The town took ownership, so we're basically the property owners, but for Moderator Way to be considered an official public street, it does have to go through the town meeting process. So this is expected to be placed on the annual town meeting warrant in 2026 for street acceptance. And then it'll become a public way if it passes vote, and it would be available for improvements subject to Chapter 90 funding, etc.
A long and painful process, but at least we're getting to closure.
Yeah.
Any comments, questions about that?
So does that mean the town plows it this winter, as it is
Yeah,
the owner
but not
of
with
it?
the Chapter 90
Yes.
funding. Yeah,
Okay.
The town will be responsible for plowing over the winter, yes.
Okay,
We sent notice, we prepared a letter sending it out to all residents with addresses in moderator way that own property, just informing them that the town has taken ownership of the settlement agreement and that there will likely be surveyors and engineers taking inventory and doing work within the subdivision right away, moving forward.
So the settlement was about 72,500. Is that how I'm reading the?
Yes.
Okay. And I thought we were seeking something closer to over 100,000, right?
Yeah, we had $112,000 that we voted to collect on the bond. That's what the total, I don't have the exact figure. It's about
Yeah.
112,000 and change. And that was what was appealed, and the 72,500 was reached as part of the settlement agreement.
And are we limited with what we can use that money for?
We
Or-
have to, yes, we have to use it to complete items that are outstanding within the subdivision. So we do have to use it to bring the subdivision up to town standards.
but not specific things like if we, we can pick and choose what we use the money for, as opposed to the money was bonded for specific things like, certain number of trees,
Right.
swales,
Yeah.
this and that. Like this is just the town can use it for bringing it up to code.
Right.
Okay.
The first step in determining and prioritizing work with the available funds is to complete the as-built, so we know exactly what the current situation is.
And if
what
that
is the-
cost, oh, sorry, go ahead, Austin.
I was just gonna ask, what did that list contain? If we could just take a look at that. I'm just curious to know if what was collected will be enough for completing the must-haves for this new road.
Yes, it would be unless we run into unforeseen situations, like the detention ponds need extreme excavating that we weren't prepared for or something like that. But we're not expecting anything like that. But it should be fairly close to completing all the items on the punch list.
Okay.
To Austin's point, if it wasn't, then do we have to go to town meeting to appropriate funds for it, or can funds be used from some other budget within town, DPW or something?
Believe it could be. We wouldn't be able to use Chapter 90 funds until it was an accepted public way.
Okay.
That would have to be part of the regular budget process.
any other comments or questions?
Someone has their hand raised in the audience.
Hi, this is Liz Hutchins from 75 Moderator Way. I'm just wondering how we will be getting updates on the work that will be happening. Is that something that's going to be like under the purview of the planning board, or what is that going to look like?
So we'll have actually it'll say in the letter, once we have as-built complete, we'll send notices out again just for your information, and we'll have everything posted on the website. The planning board has jurisdiction to comply with the subdivision approval requirements, so they would likely have the input in what the funds will be used for going forward if we need to prioritize items over another.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm just wondering because if there is anything, and hopefully there's nothing substantial, but if there is, and there is going to be like excavators on the street and stuff, that's just information that would be helpful for us to know.
Sure.
There's
Yeah,
not-
there will be some larger equipment, mowing equipment associated with cleaning of the detention ponds, but we're not up to that point yet. Once we have the as-built complete, we'll inform you of the next steps.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you. The last item, and I guess there are a couple of open items beyond that, but the review of the minutes. Has everybody reviewed the July 30th minutes? I have, and I had a number of comments which I've sent back to Pam. So
Do you want me
Pam,
to
do you
share
want to
this?
delay approval of that to the next meeting until you've taken a look at that?
Sure.
I think there were some comments and some things that needed to be clarified. Okay, so let's put that off until the next meeting. One last item, and I understand that Pam is up to her eyeballs, and I can understand that with what's going on currently. But she'll continue working on the area review, the economic development at the west end of town at Forbush and Maine. So stay tuned. We'll move forward to that as quickly as we can.
I had, at the last meeting, I had told the board I'd prepare a scope and agenda for our public meeting. I don't have that complete yet, but I should have it by the end of this week and get it out to you for your review.
And last but not least, I think it would be appropriate for the board to have a resolution to send condolences and sympathy to the family of the former chief of police, who was a terrific part of the community. Certainly, all the interface that I had with him was has been very positive for a very long time. So do I hear a resolution to do so?
Bob, are you asking for us,
Yes.
for maybe Pam specifically to send something, or are you asking for a motion that we, the
Well,
board
Pam, on
send its
behalf of the board,
condolences?
Pam,
Like-
I'll be glad to put language together. So I don't think we need necessarily a resolution or motion, but
Bob, why don't you make the motion that you want to
Okay.
make?
the motion is to send a letter of sympathy and condolence to the family of our former chief of police, to indicate the tremendous support and community that he felt during his period, not only as chief, but as an officer of the force.
Second.
Robert Romer,
Aye.
Michael Gore.
Aye.
Eric Nyland,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Michael Lau,
Aye.
James Barr.
Jim?
I saw the mouth movements, but I didn't.
I
hear
did too.
the audio, but
Aye.
took that as
There
aye.
it is. One last note, and a sad one at that, is that Jen Markey will be leaving us as town clerk at the end of the month for personal reasons. Very personal reasons, and I'm sure that she's very sad that she has to do this, and I think those of us who have worked with her are equally so. So that's
Bad.
it for me.
I just want to give some, never mind, sorry. Luke Hamburger was just such an asset to the town, and on a personal level, working with him, we're just gonna miss him a lot. He was so kind and available to residents, and we just really feel the effect here.
Thank you for that, Pam.
He really was.
And with that, a motion for adjournment, please.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Okay. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.